Hey guys, it's Fallon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a long time, but we are back in action today. I am hoping to do a video every week. That is like my New Year's resolution. Life's been a little crazy, but I really want to prioritize my YouTube channel this year. So today I'm training against Giovanni, who is a white belt at our gym. He has 2 stripes. He is 5'10" and 170 pounds. All right guys, let's get started.
To start off, I am just playing guard, and I always go to kind of a K guard in no-gi just because there's not any grips to use, and I always feel very secure going for leg locks in no-gi, and that's just a perfect setup for me. Also with K guard, if they kind of reach forward like this and across my body, I can switch my K guard from the hip to under the armpit area and go for an omoplata. So that's why you see me play kind of loosely there, going back from the hip to the armpit area. But instead I take advantage of him lifting the opposite leg up that I'm attacking by throwing my right leg over his body and slipping the left leg just underneath that so I can start attacking a leg lock. Doing that really isolates the leg and minimizes movement from your opponent. And a really important tip that I've learned over my time is to not let your hips fall down, but instead to raise them up. That's why you always see me fighting really hard to get my hips up in the air. And just by fighting for that little adjustment really makes a difference, because you'll notice that it's just harder for the opponent to smash your hips down or to even stand up. And when I'm finishing the belly down straight ankle lock, you can see I put my hand on the mat and I elevate my chest up while putting my hips down to the floor, and that just maximizes the pressure onto the straight ankle lock. When I was a white belt, people used to always tell me to put my forehead on the mat and just put my hips down for the straight ankle lock, and I really don't find that to be successful compared to this way. So I would give it a try, see how you like it. So here Giovanni goes for a double overpass, which honestly is a very effective way to pass my guard, because once my hips are locked down, I really can't move the way I want to, and I have a flexible guard, so once my hips are out of commission, I'm basically out of commission. And because he's doing a double overpass, I go directly to the Kimura, not necessarily to get it, but just to make him think about it and maybe change the way he's passing, which is exactly what happened. As you see, he elevated his chest up and abandoned the double over grip, and I used that Kimura grip I had just to roll over my shoulder and regain open guard. And here I'm just kind of testing his reactions by poking him with my foot, and I automatically go to inverted de la Hiva, which is one of my favorite things to do both in gi and no gi, and I knock him over with my left shin. So it's kind of like a scissor sweep motion, but instead I just have an inverted de la Hiva hook and I just knock him over. And simultaneously I reached over for an overhook, that way I could attack for an arm lock as soon as we landed in that half guard position. And right away I go for a butterfly guard and I get an over under hook, always an overhook on the side. You're going to sweep the person, and I thread my left leg under my body and I kick with my right leg for a butterfly sweep. And then we come on top, staying nice and tight into a forward side control. Then I transition to regular side control, but I put my arm over his head because I was going to go for a north-south choke, and he capitalizes on that and stands up, which is really good on his part. And now I'm kind of in a snap down position, so as you see I'm dropping to my knees just trying to get him back to the floor. And here I'm looking to gator roll or honestly just take the back, but he stands up once again and I'm having difficulty snapping him down. So I change to a Russian 2-on-1 grip, and from there I'm usually just looking to toss the arm up and go for a double or a single leg, but my takedown game really isn't that strong, so it's kind of hard for me to commit. And he went to his knees, so now he had a lot of pressure on my head, so I go to do a sit out and I fail the first time, so I automatically try again, and this time I just regain a neutral starting point basically. So now I have wrist control and I go for an underhook and drag my body up while hip escaping to try to take the back, but he kind of leans back, so I end up just taking the mount. My favorite thing to do for mount is go to high mount. I just find it a very high level of control and it gives you a lot of availability for arm bars and mounted triangles.
A lot of people reach under my legs when I'm in a high mount, and it gives me the triangle. Here I pinned his wrist to the floor and I stepped over for a triangle, but my hips were way too high, so he ends up turtling. I try to take his back, but he stands up straight too fast, so now we're back in a neutral standing state. And you can see me here thinking about going for an ankle pick. That's why I have his wrist low, so I can just drop to my knee and grab that left ankle of his, but I guess I just didn't feel like it, so I pulled guard right away. I really have to be in the mood to go for a takedown, I'm not gonna lie, because it's just so much grit involved, and sometimes it's just easier to pull guard. My brother would be disappointed at me for saying that, but I just have a better guard game than a stand-up. And he is leaning forward, so I decide to invert. When I invert, I'm looking for people to place their arm in my guard so I can triangle, which he does, so I elevate my hips very fast and snap that triangle down, and I automatically grab my shin so I can adjust to the optimal angle for a triangle. And right away I dive my left arm in and I hold his leg, that way I can pull my body closer to him, and then I pinch my knees together and I try to drive the heels of my feet to the floor while always keeping a pointed toe, a flexed foot. You never want to get lazy and leave like a soft toe on your triangle, because it just doesn't have the same amount of pressure and it really makes a difference. So if you're throwing triangles and your toes aren't pointed, fix yourself. So now I'm playing open guard. You can see that I'm really wanting an omoplata. That's why I'm keeping my foot so high and I'm grabbing his arm and tugging it towards me. But he keeps a very good posture and he actually has a really good base. He's hard to sweep. He goes for the double overhooks again to pass, so I'm just pushing his head, playing a lot of guard retention here. So here I'm kind of just waiting to see what he does, because for any of my sweeps or anything, I need him to lean forward or backwards, and he's kind of just staying very neutral, so it's hard for me to move him. So that's why you see me just tugging his head, tugging on his wrist, kind of kicking my feet until I reach up for a underhook with my half guard. And I use my right foot to peel his leg straight back until I can pinch them between my knees and then go for a knee pick here, which is a sweep. And I drive forward into side control, then automatically take the mount. And when I take mount, I get head control and then an underhook on the opposite side. And as you can see, I'm walking my hand up to try to cross his arm over his face. That way I can go for a head and arm triangle. So here I gable grip my hands together, and then I do a knee slice off the side of his body and sprawl my hips down while staying on my toes, driving pressure forward. So that head-arm triangle is very tight. I actually just regained my love for head-arm triangles. I stopped doing them for a long time, and now I'm actually obsessed with them. I go for them pretty much every time I go into the mount, if I can't get my triangle, of course. So now I'm just playing open guard. You see I am going for a triangle, but I believe time just ran out, so we are done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to tap that like and subscribe button, of course, so you can see more videos just like this. Also, don't forget to follow me on my other social media channels at Fallon for Tone. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. Alright guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you on the mats next week. Bye guys!